I've explored death a lot because I think ultimately that's why people go to religion and a lot of different things. It's like what happens after life. And so as an artist, it's something that I ponder to process the thoughts. And especially because I've lost people in my life when I was younger. And it was pretty heavy duty for me. That was always a big thing of like, well, what happens after life? And almost in a way, preparing myself for my own death. And so kind of like putting myself into those scenarios and kind of living it.
For many people, his name may only be tied to the shocking reports surrounding his death in a helicopter crash on June 14, 2026. But the deeper you look into his life, the more incredible the story becomes. The more details that surface, the harder it is to separate the real person from the larger-than-life character he built for the world to see. What looked like an over-the-top act on the surface often hid a much more complex and creative individual behind the scenes. Oliver Tree became one of the most unusual and unpredictable success stories in alternative music. To casual viewers, he looked like a stunt-loving entertainer, a living internet joke, or simply the guy with the giant bowl cut and tiny sunglasses. But to millions of fans, he was the talented singer, songwriter, and producer responsible for major hits like Alien Boy, Hurt, Life Goes On, and Miss You. His music connected with audiences far beyond the viral clips and bizarre public image. Entertainment and performance were always at the center of everything Oliver did.
So for me, like the way I look at it is like the idea of entertainment is 360, it's a circle. So like trying to find these different ways to penetrate into the center to try to get to whatever the goal is.
He rarely presented himself in a serious way, but he took his creative work extremely seriously. He wrote his own lyrics, crafted melodies, and even directed many of his cinematic music videos himself. Because he blended his personal life so closely with his art, fans were constantly left guessing. Was a story real, or was it part of the show? That mystery became one of the biggest parts of his appeal. Born on June 29, 1993 in Santa Cruz, California, Oliver often told wildly different versions of his early life. In one interview, he claimed his parents met while working in an onion field, supposedly sparking his lifelong fascination with onions. In another version, he said his parents were traveling trapeze artists and that he grew up performing as a unicyclist in the Pickle family circus. It sounded amazing, but there was one problem. Historical records show the Pickle family circus shut down in 1992, a full year before Oliver was born, exposing that story as one of his most clever inventions. In reality, the foundation of Oliver Tree's entire artistic identity can be traced back to one major childhood obsession: gorillas. Long before he became famous for wild stunts, eccentric interviews, and internet-breaking antics, he was fascinated by how the virtual band blended completely different genres while hiding the real musicians behind animated characters. To Oliver, that concept was genius. It proved that an artist could build an entire universe around their music rather than simply release songs. He became obsessed with the idea of creating something similar, but with his own unique twist. Instead of a group of fictional characters, Oliver wanted to become the character himself, a one-man project capable of producing, singing, rapping, and living inside a carefully crafted persona. His dedication to music started at an incredibly young age. While most children were still learning basic skills, Oliver was already developing musical abilities. He began taking piano lessons at just 3 years old and started writing songs by the age of 4. Music quickly became the center of his world. By middle school, he was already performing as a vocalist and guitarist in a rock band called Irony, gaining valuable experience on stage and developing the confidence that would later help him command massive audiences. Even then, it was clear that Oliver wasn't interested in following a traditional path. His journey took a dramatic turn during his teenage years following an intense experience around 2010. Oliver later claimed that while attending the Burning Man festival with family, he consumed a large amount of LSD and experienced a deeply disturbing hallucination in the desert.
Went on a family trip to Burning Man vacation, so that kind of explains what kind of parents I had.
Try everything, which ultimately ended up me becoming a drug addict. I started selling drugs, I got kicked out of my home. I had an LSD trip where I actually watched my own funeral and I had what's called a rebirth. I died and I woke up the next day and I realized I was still alive. I had an opportunity to play a big concert
And then music became my savior, my healing, my religion.
According to his version of events, the experience was so overwhelming that it forced him to reevaluate his life, pushing him away from substance use and motivating him to dedicate himself completely to creativity. Given Oliver's reputation for mixing truth with performance art, many questioned the story. Yet archived material dating back to 2012 shows him sharing the same detailed account years before his mainstream fame emerged, making it an important part of his early mythology. After that turning point, Oliver shifted away from traditional rock and threw himself into electronic music. Performing under the name DJ Krife, he partnered with California producer DJ Getter in late 2010 and began releasing aggressive dubstep tracks during the genre's biggest growth period. The timing proved ideal. As dubstep exploded in popularity, Oliver found himself performing for larger crowds and gaining valuable exposure, placing him closer to the center of a rapidly growing movement. At the same time, he refused to limit himself. While producing electronic music, he also explored hip-hop by helping form a high school rap group called Mindaf, which allowed him to sharpen his songwriting and teach himself the technical side of production. As his musical ambitions expanded, Oliver also became heavily involved in freestyle scootering, a passion that would eventually influence his stage performances and visual branding. He often claimed that he competed nationally and signed a professional contract with the Santa Monica Junior Syndicate team at just 16 years old. In classic Oliver fashion, he joked that the deal transformed him overnight from surviving on instant ramen on a friend's couch to living in a luxury penthouse. While public records supporting these claims remain limited, few doubted his genuine writing talent. Throughout his career, fans regularly watched him perform legitimate 360-degree scooter flips during live shows, sometimes launching himself off elevated DJ platforms before instantly grabbing a guitar without missing a beat. According to Oliver, his competitive scootering career came to a painful end after a devastating accident. He claimed that during a tournament run, he was speeding down a steep ramp when a small pebble unexpectedly crossed his path, causing a violent crash. According to his account, the accident left him with fractured wrists, damage to his thumb, and a severe concussion. The incident became a cornerstone of his personal history, especially because he later shared that his hit Hurt was directly inspired by the recovery that followed.
I used to be a professional scooter rider, so I have a background doing that. And I actually had this injury where I broke both my wrists and the joint that connects my thumb to my hand. I had a big metal rod through my hand, and I had a concussion. It was like my 8th or 9th concussion, and the doctor said, if you continue this path, the next concussion you get, you could potentially pass away. So I had to stop. I had to change. I call it manifest destiny, where a higher power took my trajectory and changed it over. So that's kind of where music really became my focus.
As with many stories connected to Oliver Tree, the details became the subject of debate. The controversy grew when documents he presented as evidence were later questioned and reportedly linked to an unrelated news article, adding another twist to the mystery. Yet, despite the skepticism, authentic hospital photos appear to show him recovering from a serious injury during his younger years. Once again, Oliver managed to blur the line between reality and art so effectively that people were left debating the truth for years. What is clear is that the recovery period became a major turning point. With less focus on scootering and more time to reflect, Oliver began channeling his energy into music like never before. He gradually moved away from aggressive electronic sounds and started exploring a softer, more emotional alternative style. Adopting the name Tree, he set out to build a different artistic identity that focused heavily on songwriting and personal expression. That creative shift led to the release of his debut album, Splitting Branches, in 2014 while he was studying music technology at the California Institute of the Arts. Rather than relying on internet antics, the album highlighted his songwriting ability and musical versatility. The release quickly attracted attention from RNS Records, which moved to bring him into the label system. However, the relationship reportedly became complicated almost immediately. According to Oliver, label executives wanted to reshape his image into something safer and more commercially appealing. For an artist who valued creative freedom above almost everything else, that was a major problem. Instead of accepting those limitations, Oliver made a bold decision. He stepped away from releasing music for a period, choosing to study the industry and position himself for greater control over his future projects. Ironically, that temporary break led to the creation of the character that changed everything: Turbo. During the filming of a 2015 music video for a collaboration with DJ Getter, Oliver claimed that his colorful ski jacket and eccentric fashion choices were criticized as being too strange. For Oliver, it had the exact opposite effect. Instead of backing away, he fully embraced the look and turned it into the foundation of a brand new persona. At the height of Vine's popularity, Oliver began posting rapid-fire comedy videos while living among well-known internet creators. Turbo quickly became impossible to ignore. The character was loud, chaotic, and instantly recognizable, featuring a neon ski jacket, oversized JNCO jeans, red sunglasses, and the now iconic bowl cut. What started as a quirky online character soon exploded into a viral sensation, giving Oliver a perfect marketing strategy: use internet meme culture to pull millions of people toward his music. In 2016, this unusual strategy finally paid off in a massive way when I'm Down exploded online. What started as internet buzz quickly transformed into a major career breakthrough, helping him secure a record deal with Atlantic Records. While many artists tried to separate themselves from internet culture, Oliver leaned directly into it, continuing to push the boundaries of what a modern music artist could be. That momentum only grew stronger with the release of his genre-bending EP Alien Boy in 2018. The project showcased his ability to blend alternative rock, pop, and electronic music. At the same time, his YouTube channel evolved into a non-stop spectacle filled with outrageous challenges, giant-scale projects, and unpredictable stunts. Millions of viewers tuned in to watch him ride the world's largest certified kick scooter, sit inside a bathtub overflowing with hot Cheetos, and attempt increasingly over-the-top visual gags. Every upload felt bigger and stranger than the last. Behind the scenes, Oliver was proving to be just as ambitious as he appeared on camera. Thanks to the massive audiences he generated online, he successfully convinced record executives to approve increasingly ambitious budgets for his music videos. While many artists struggled to secure funding, Oliver was pitching ideas on a completely different scale. One of the most famous examples came during the production of the music video for Hurt. Determined to create something unforgettable, Oliver secured funding to film on location in Ukraine and include a real military tank as part of the production. The project represented a major financial gamble, and expectations were incredibly high. Fortunately for Oliver, the risk paid off in spectacular fashion, attracting millions of views and demonstrating that his creative vision could succeed on a massive scale. By early 2020, Oliver appeared to be standing at the biggest moment of his career. After years of experimentation and relentless self-promotion, he was finally preparing to release his long-awaited debut studio album, Ugly is Beautiful. Fans had been waiting patiently, and anticipation surrounding the project was at an all-time high. Then the world suddenly changed. The COVID-19 pandemic disrupted the music industry, halted tours, and forced artists everywhere to rethink their plans. In true Oliver Tree fashion, he responded with a move that left fans completely stunned. Taking to Instagram, he announced that the album was canceled, his remaining shows were off, and he was officially entering early retirement.
I have no marketing budgets for music videos, no digital ad spend. Nobody really cares in the building, it seems like. I made a lot of money for Atlantic Records, and they don't seem to remember that. I have gotten no support. They forgot to ingest multiple songs into the system, which means the songs didn't come out. I had a Valentine's Day breakout song that didn't even get released because someone forgot to put it in. I don't really understand how that's possible. I've made them tens of millions of dollars, but they don't remember that.
The announcement immediately sparked confusion and endless speculation online. Was he serious, or was it another elaborate joke? With Oliver, nobody ever knew for sure, and that perfectly captured the mystery and performance art that defined his entire career. What do you think was the craziest Oliver Tree moment of all time? Was it the rise of Turbo, the wild stunts, the unbelievable stories, or something else entirely? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating stories from the worlds of music, entertainment, and internet culture.